Part 3 of my story, Part 1 and 2 in the comments down below. I thought things were going fine and then several months ago something happened that did not make sense. We moved into our new home. Yeah, I was warned. We went to our other house to get it ready for renters. We drove almost 2 hours and I took a route that took us about a mile from the OM's house. My wife said she would never come this way. Then a month later my wife calls me at 5 p.m. on a Thursday. She says she is at our antique business, almost 2.5 hours away. I said, what? We do this together and we could have gone on the weekend. She said, I did not tell you because I knew you would get mad. I said no. You are calling me because you know you will not be home in time to hide what you did. She then told me she drove up the route I took. When she got home, I said, isn't it something that you are on this route and near the OM's house at the time he gets off work? I said, your timeline is all wrong. There is no way you ever stay at the antique business that long, and I accuse her of meeting up with the OM. She got mad and said I screwed up and said I am sorry. I said, what do you mean you screwed up? Those are words of a cheater. If you were hiding the fact that you went to the antique business from me, you would say something different, not I screwed up. All the trust I built up was gone. I went into investigation mode. I have had a bad feeling for a while, and this morning I put a VAR in her car. She said she had to go to work. She had slept with a stranger and was bragging to him that there are other guys. I played the recording for her and she lied, saying she was talking about her business. There is more, but I called her family and they are shocked. They want to hear the recording. She packed up and left to go to her evil sister. We talked for 2 hours and she says I am wrong and she is tired of me accusing her. I said I am tired of her lying and cheating. She said the recording is not what I say it is and that I am paranoid. I told her to tell me the truth and she said she did not do anything and that I am making it up. Unbelievable. I have solid proof and she is lying. After she had slept with the stranger, she is telling him that there are other guys. Her brother wants to hear the recording and I will let him hear it. Got tested for STD and they gave me a high dose of antibiotics. My blood pressure is sky high. I am relatively calm. I knew this was going on. The OM asked where she keeps her phone and she says upstairs in a bag. I asked her if she has a phone and she said no. I have been looking for a phone for months. I listened to most of the 4 hours of recording from the VAR. She never made it to work. Somewhere between 3 to 4 hours with the dude in her car. Sounds like they had fun in the car. Not real clear at one point. Then an hour later after she was bad telling me it went like this. Her, how do you want it? Him, like last time. He, backdoor, laughing. Sounds like she had fun. My youngest son talked to her sister and cousin. Her sister is the one I call evil, but she has gotten some religion. She said to my son, you mother can only stay here if she tells me everything. My niece told my son, you mom is not like that, your dad is making it up. My son said, my mom is one sick and twisted person and not my dad is not making it up. He has solid proof. We'll be taking to an attorney soon. My WS came home and we talked. She is still denying anything happened, laughed, and with the straightest face said I am making it all up. Unreal. I said I love you but I feel sorry for you. She said, man, that makes me feel great. I said, you are very ill and sick. I told her I am filing for divorce and she said nothing. She moved all her stuff upstairs. I am broke, minus $252 in our checking and nothing coming until next Friday. She always managed the finances and now I found out she let things go. Maxed out on credit cards. My fault for letting this happen. I am not sure what is wrong with me right now. I had a good night's sleep. My arms and hands are shaking. I just drank some coffee and had toast. Have not eaten since I don't know when. Perhaps that is what is going on. The antibiotics that they gave me at the emergency room. Just in case I had an STD tore up my stomach, so maybe I am dehydrated. I felt myself getting pissed. My wife is upstairs sleeping with the dog. I can't believe it. She is going to get Ruddy our golden. I popped a HCl a few minutes ago and it is starting to work. I have these meds for my PTSD but I never took them. But I thought I better now. Took one yesterday and man, it really takes the edge off. Arms are still shaking but my mind is clear. My plan for today. 1. Waiting for the attorney to call me. Left a message yesterday. 2. Tell the WS to start separating items that she wants and we can start selling the rest of the stuff because we are going to put the house up for sale. 3. Go over bills with WS. I can't believe it. The life I built with this woman is over. I am not kicking her to the curb. I am going to be nice to her. That is why I took the sertraline. I felt myself getting ready to say something really nasty when she wakes up. Like, why don't you ask backdoor man to give you money? You know where he lives. You drove him home. She is taking pictures of the contents of the house. We are going to sell most of the stuff on Craigslist. Amazing. I have gotten into woodworking and made stuff from a barn I tore down. Stuff she wanted me to make. My first 2 benches will be sold. The kitchen table. My first mortise and tenon for the legs. King-size headboard, etc. They have no meaning apart from her. I made this stuff for her. It is sad. Stuff we bought at auctions. Furniture that we recently refinished. Laughing and having a great time doing it. Picking out the paint, stain, etc. All stuff we were doing even as of this past Monday. The sunroom that I tore out all the white ugly paneling and now is not quite finished with old barn wood, barn beams. Because she wanted it to look like Williamsburg. where we went with my parents every year for over 20 years. This is so unreal, yet I am holding it together. She looks old and sickly. Her oldest brother, he's a pastor, told me that she will soon realize that the thrill of calling up men while married will soon be over. It is amazing. She spent almost 4 hours with a dude in her car on Wednesday, then called me on her way home after taking the guy to his house and talked to me on her way home almost right away for about 15 minutes or so, talking about her day at work. Like nothing happened. There is something mental. I am not kicking her out. I am not forcing her to give her phone. I told her if she needs money maybe she can ask her backdoor friend to give her money, since she knows where she lives. She looks sick. Oldest son 28, special needs, is with her. His mind is like a 12-year-old. My youngest 26 is supporting me. If I get nasty like I did last year I will lose them and I will not go there again. I am not going to let her rent space in my head to the place where I go off on her. She is expecting it and will use it against me and I will not let it happen. My boss hired me to replace him when he retires later this year or next and told me not to let this ruin my career. He is a good guy. He told me the other day that I am a good, decent man and that I have to move forward. I don't regret my life with her. I had many fun and good years with her, but for her to throw it away for what? I can say it was a sham, a lie, whatever and it was, but I did have many good times with her. Like my youngest son said last night, this is not the mother he knew and something is wrong with her and we need to get her back. That is what her family is saying. I don't care. I predict that her family will support her down the road if not now, and some will look at me as the cause that I made her this way. I did not show love. I looked at videos. I got angry. That bothers me and that I like her brothers. But I can't control them. Blood is thick and they will not abandon her. My best hope is to try to keep both houses at this time and move on with the marriage. I want to cry but won't give her the privilege of seeing me do that. I did tell her to ask the backdoor guy for money. I really want to say more to her but I know better. The car is parked outside. Man, oh man, the bed she made out of blankets is still in there. My zebra blanket from Iraq. Talk about disrespect. I am being hit with a ton of bricks. It is very lonely and she is upstairs. I feel like I could just puke. I have no interest in interacting with her. None. I really think if she could leave, she would, because I can see she is not enjoying it either. Her millionaire younger brother can't take her in due to them having foster children. When we visited in the past and stayed overnight, they had a visit from the agency and we had to hide our suitcases in the closet because they were not allowed overnight guests. Her sister will take her in if needed, but she is a mental mess and the other family members are asking her not to do it. I wish I had a friend nearby who could help me hang barn beams in the sunroom. It would at least be a distraction for a time. And the meds wore off. Then, you can tell the difference. I will be okay, but man, it just hurts. I've been playing one scenario after another in my head for the past 2 hours of what I may have done to her. It just does not make sense that I would have let her to do this. It may not make sense, but after listening to the tape and her talking to the other man about me, I kind of get her view on things and she did not care much about me. Perhaps it was because she was involved with other men and had to make me the bad person in her mind to justify her behavior. Not that things were clear on the recording, but I never got the sense now or before that she ever wanted to leave me. She wanted it both ways. Me and the others. Cake eater, security, whatever. As my older brother-in-law told me today, he said, I wonder what she will do now that the thrill of being married and sneaking around is no longer an option. He said she got a sick thrill out of this, and now that I will no longer be in the picture it will take that thrill of secrecy and excitement away. My brother-in-law is a good man. I am going to file. I can't now. I have to get my truck inspected and need 2 tires. It expired last month. I was hoping to do that today, but the person who could help me out with some funds is out of town. It may need brake work. I can do that. I always do my own brake work. But it is too cold and right now I do not have the funds for brake pads. On my truck, brakes are easy. Last time I went to change the pads I decided to change the rotors and saw the brake line was a little corroded and changed them. There was lots of room to work. I just got up and my arms and hand were shaking. I had some soup yesterday, almost puked. I have toast in the toaster. I wanted to go to my youngest son's house today, but when I called him, he said a guy is moving in today. Our third tenant. He said tomorrow would be better. It is his birthday. So, I don't know what I am going to do today. I am done with this marriage. As for the VAR, with the music playing most of the time I did not hear a name. It is over 3 hours, so I have not listened to the whole thing. I kept skipping forward. I really don't have the energy to do that right now until it is cleaned up. At first, I did not want to expose, just move on, but if I can find who it is. If he is married, then I will. I am not going to go nuts this time. I guess I know where he works, no other reason for her to call there. The fact that she knows I can see where she is calling shows me that she does not care. If my son and oldest Bill can get her family to have a united front, thing could go better for me. I know if her sister and younger brother would just get tough with her, she would break. I don't want her back, but I know her well enough that she has had legal advice, she told me. Honestly, I do not know what to do on my own. Bills, accounts, insurance, etc. I know I can get help on this. She won't leave yet. If the could take her in, she would have left. I suspect he is married. She will take our dog and my special needs son with her, and he can be troublesome. Right now, he hates me and will not talk to his brother. He has a mind of a 12-year-old. He is 28. I know what can happen in D, and you are right in pointing out that she will be formidable. That is why I will not say much. Anything I say will be used against me. Even me not helping her price antiques. She will tell her support that I am not helping get money we need right now. Part of me does not care. I am rated 60% disability with the VA. I could get 100% if I wanted to. I won't, because then I can't work and I am in position to get promoted into a position in about a year. And that will be much more than disability pay, even with Social Security, that I would be eligible for as well. My military retirement does not kick in for about 4 more years, and she will get half of about $22,000 a month. I am told she can't touch my disability payments, but not sure. I am told that she can get the increase for me being married, which comes out to about $60 a month, but she will not be entitled to any of my disability other than the extra for being married. Her chemo is about $6,000 every 8 weeks, and she will be on it for the rest of her life. If she does not have the treatment, all her fingers and toes will eventually freeze up. I will have to keep insurance on her. I think, if I cancel her insurance or if divorce, I believe I will then have to pay the expensive COBRA payments, and that will definitely wipe me out. I am not sure, but I do believe I will be responsible for her insurance. None of this is stopping me from eventually filing for D, but I need to keep hearing from you and others that she will get nasty because she can put on a good front and say I won't do that or I will do this, and I know it is a lie. She will take care of herself and will not care about me. My oldest pastor brother-in-law called me and has been a good friend to me. He called his sister a dirty woman. That I do not deserve this. We talked for a long time. He gets it. Her younger brother and middle sister don't. He feels if they cut their support to her by listening to her that this may turn her around. Also, the fact that I am now serious about D and having to have to care for a 95-pound dog. A special needs son, who needs both of us to control him. He started drinking and using meds when I went to Iraq and my wife could not control him. Less income. He said she has no clue what is going to happen to her. He said no one in the family wants a W to live with them, though her younger brother and sister will not turn her away. Legally, her younger brother can't have overnight guests due to the state law, and they do foster care. Her middle sister is a mental case. She always has been, grieving the loss of her husband, on the brink of losing her house. Was denied disability, has no income, and things are falling apart in her house. Yet maybe she thinks my WS will be able to provide money if she lets her in. Believe you me when I say I kind of hopes this happens. My wife will get sick of her complaining, panic attacks, anxiety, and wacky ways, and to have my son there in their faces saying I need pot. I want to go to this heavy metal concert 3 hours away. I want this and I want that without ever stopping. Waiting at the door when you first get up in the morning, calling you countless times during the day. My brother-in-law says he just does not get it. Living the life like this and blaming me. He laughed and said her blaming me makes no sense at all, that it is completely loony. Her plan yesterday was to move back into our other house so she can be with her boys. I said, what about our youngest son and the tenant? She said that it is my house. Little does she know that another tenant just moved in and signed a lease today, and that my son will not live there with his mother. Anything can happen in the next minute, hour, days, etc. I think I will lose my shirt for a while, but at the present time and most of the day I have rather upbeat. I guess I will hit bottom again tonight when the meds run their course. These meds do take the edge off. She looks miserable. Can't prove it, but I think I found her site. She signed up for a job site a long time ago. Posted her picture, email, phone number, and our current address. Posted her profile for house cleaning, dog walking, and senior care. Anyone there can see it. Most of her emails are gone from this site, and I have not snooped around it to see everything, but I imagine it went like this. Some guy looking for a dog walker, house cleaner, or caregiver for their senior parents saw her pic and how easy it was to contact her. I will have to go through the phone records and maybe I can figure it out. I am still waiting for my attorney to call. He is very good. Known him for years in the army, but he can procrastinate in making contact. I will not speculate on anything. It does seem like health insurance ends with a divorce, but a judge can order it to be paid for after the D. Depending on what the attorney says, he will give me free initial advice. I may go with a shark. He is not a shark but is thorough. So, I have been fairly quiet on many things. I feel right now with her in the house I have to really watch what I say. I am sure she is getting good legal counsel. I wish she would leave. I am not leaving. I wish she would leave, then I could get some tenants in here. I have a 4-bedroom house, 2 baths. A 2 garage that I could rent out. So pathological and unreal. I talked to my WS. Told her I am going to be with our son, which should be both of us, for his birthday. She said I sent him a text this morning and will celebrate with him later. I told her to contact Stinky or Backdoor Man for money. She said I am crazy. I went through some of the tape verbally and she looked at me with a straight face and said I am making this all up. I said I am not going to watch you crash and burn. She says she has a great support group, is getting jobs, and looks horrible. I told her that she is doing things animals don't do. She said I am twisting things, that it never happened. She said she should have left me years ago, that I cheated on her by looking at online videos. I said, knock it off. I said, you could have left if that was a problem. But you are turning into an animal and our car is sick. I said, you are sick. She said, oh, and you are better. I said, compared to you I am, and I will not allow you to bring me down. I said, I will not help you to sell things. I did my part by posting on Craigslist. She said, the bills are in your name, not mine. I thought, so she can be free and clear. Not the way the law works. I said, in all my years of counseling, you have the worst case of denial I have ever seen. Even when confronted with the evidence, you deny. I am glad I have copies now. Her story to everyone will be, it did not happen, or that is from another time, or whatever. She is not the person I knew even when I came home on Wednesday after having bonding twice. She gave me a kiss and was smiling. I wish I had a video of her. She sits there but looks gaunt and washed out. I said, your world is crashing down, and she said, that is what you want, but I know who I am and know what I am going to do, and my world is not crashing. I am serious. In all my years of being a counselor and a chaplain, this is by far one of the worst cases I have ever seen. I have dealt with multiple personality disorders, bipolar, schizophrenia, depression, anxiety, all kinds of disorders, but this one is up there with some of the worst cases I have dealt. Her story, as you looked at videos. I said, what you have become is sick and less than an animal. She said, that is your opinion, and I did none of those things. I get it if she does not want to admit to me, but she is telling everyone else the same thing. I hope I can get my family to help. Perhaps giving the money to my son to control will give them a feeling that I will not blow it or do something crazy with it. She was so predictable. I was in denial, but she went back to her old behaviors. Not answering the phone, lying about where she was when I knew where she was, saying she was talking to neighbor for hours at a store, saying she had to go to work on Wednesdays, and then having semen in her. Man, I thought I was just paranoid that day. My youngest son is saying the same thing. He said he told his mother, you need to tell dad where you are at and answer the phone. He said after dad went through, what do you expect? She said he is just paranoid. And my son told me it was because she was contacting or trying to contact with men that caused me to be that way, and he gets it. Called my older brother and told him this story. He said, is there any way to work it out? I said, I can never say never, but I gave it till August last year and things looked like they were working out. Yea, there were signs during this time looking back. He said, well, if you gave it to August and this is what you got. I understand. I asked him to speak to the family about money. Told him that they can give it to my son to control so I don't do anything crazy with it. His son is home from college and it is his birthday and he was heading out. He will call me this evening. WS contacted an attorney. I've been tracking her cell phone. I am detached, not talking to her. I can't go crazy. My attorney told me that. That is why I am disengaged. We have been walking by each other for the past half an hour and she will not even look at me. She looks horrible. She is packing up her car with antiques to take to our business. It has not done well because she did not do much with it over the past year. We paid the rent and made a little extra each month, but nothing like we used to make. Her mind was elsewhere. Again, these are things that kept us going financially and allowed us to travel. I look back at our credit cards and think why I allowed this to happen. I would tell my WS we need to put money towards the bills and she didn't. She always had cash and it made no sense to me. We always shared our money and I would see money in her purse and think what the heck. I trusted her. Though right now this is biting her more than me. She has no money. I mean it. I know what she has. If she had money she would have gone. I know that much about her. Her sister's finances are horrible. Broken refrigerator. Pipes leaking. And will not have money for the mortgage come April. Her millionaire brother, her best friend, is being very reluctant to give her anything. I think in the end he will, but who knows. My oldest brother-in-law wants the family to cut all ties with her. To force her to break. I think that will work, but I told him forget about me being involved. I am done with her. He wants to do an intervention with her in March when the middle brother, a missionary in South Africa, gets home. At this point I don't care. I do pity her for what she has become. My oldest brother-in-law asked me if she is getting paid for being a worker and I said I don't know. We have passed each other some time ago and later in the day. She does not even look at me and has such anger in her eyes. I have not said one word to her today, and all I am seeing is her heart getting harder and her face showing anger. It just amazes me where this could come from. I will never understand this and I really don't want to at this time. I am focusing on me and trying to keep it all together for me. 2 months later, I have the money in my account, just waiting for the attorney to send me the paperwork. Called him yesterday and he was in court. Missed his call later in the day as I had 3 group sessions and some individual ones. Today I have tons of notes to get done, but I am soon going to be officially filing. Early last evening I asked my STBXW to talk. She had just woken up from a nap. She was called into work to fill in for an ill employee. I don't know if she went to work or if it was an excuse. She said she just woke up and will talk later. Then she told me she is sick. I can tell that she is coming down with something. Well, I took my son to church and she went out for groceries. When I came home, we had a short talk. I asked her what her thoughts are on D. She said she has not thought about it. I was calm. I said, over the last 2 months you asked when I would be filing and who my attorney is. I said, you know I am filing and I would like to discuss your thought on terms of D. I said we can go the short easy route or it can get real nasty and I would rather go the easy way. She mentioned the pastor. I said the man is evil, a liar, and will not apologize. I said he is a control freak, wants me to submit to him and relinquish all control to him. She said, OP, you told me he was a nice man and you liked him and I found him and his wife to be that way. I said yes, he was until he lied. Sent an email to your brother, which is a serious breach of confidentiality. I said if he would have simply said I am sorry and not told me to submit to him, I would have a positive opinion of him. But he revealed his true nature. I said I talked to his district superintendent and he said this guy is arrogant and conceited. I said I would have been fired from my job for doing this. My STXW said the pastor told her that there is hope for our marriage and prayed for us. I said really? I said we don't talk. She said well, we don't do anything to improve the marriage. You don't do anything with me. I said you were mad at me for over a month. Lied and lied and lied, and I said even 2 weeks ago you lied to me. So, you want me to do things with you. I said I want a D. I have friends that have women that want to date me and I won't until I am D. I said I want to date, have fun, meet new women and won't until we are D. I said I want a nice woman in my life and can't until we are D. I was shocked, really shocked. She has no plan, none. She is thinking that I am not going to do her. I said you have had months and years to confess all your wrongdoings. I said since February 13th this is what you have told me. I did not sleep with a guy. There was no guy in the car. The recording you have is just music, not me getting physical. I have not cheated on you. I went through the list of lies over the last 2 months. I told her, you told other people what you have done. Apologize to others, but not to me. You have not said you are sorry. I said all I have from you are lies, denial, and I think you are still sleeping with men. I said I have been home almost every day for the past 2 months. We were home alone most of last week and you have not said a word to me. I said I asked to talk to you and you do not say much or nothing back to me. I said you have had one opportunity after another. I said you have an opportunity now. I have told you several times to tell me what happened, to apologize, and you don't. I said I know what this is about. Your counselor last year told you, not sure if she did or didn't, not to tell me anything about your affairs. And that is what some of your friends have told you. Don't tell OP a thing. I said this is what you have done since at least 15 years ago. Then 2 months ago you are telling some young dude all about it. I said you know what I have repeatedly asked for and all I have gotten are lies and you are thinking I will not do you. I said the pastor told me to write you the letter, do you and follow through. I said he has been texting me even today, yesterday. He sent me a text and he has not told me that he has changed his mind on D. I said you should call him and confront him about it and have him send me a text. I will ignore whatever he says but at least I will read it. I said he has not said anything different about D to me. Anyway, this was very upsetting. Nothing from her. Not even an I am sorry. She is acting like things are going to be normal. It is strange. I am telling you all, she is acting like things will go back to normal with us. She is telling my son she does not want a D. She told me she is praying for a miracle. She is resting on the hope of what the pastor said, that the marriage can be saved, but refuses to talk to me or apologize. So, I am compassionate to a degree and have pity for her, but that is all I have. I had made a decision weeks ago to file for D and have not changed my mind. This is all hitting me hard. I transferred most of the money I got over to my account this morning. I have to put the $1,000 cash I have hidden away into my bank account. It was something to see the money sitting there in my account knowing what it is for. Big update. What an amazing 4 days. Confession, forgiveness, and grace. I don't know how to explain any of this. I don't know where to start and can't believe how the events since Friday through tonight can be explained. I stopped the D. On Friday I was done. Finished with all this crap. I had to pick up another table and chairs after work. I then stopped at a bar to have a few drinks and pick up a woman. Yes, I went there. I found one but left and went home. My wife had cut her hair and had a lock of her cut hair with a bow and gave it to me. I won't explain this, but it was significant and meant a lot to me. I was done. Handed my wedding ring to my wife and told her I am done. Either take the ring or I am going out to sell it. My wife said I thought the marriage could be saved. She said she repented and turned back to God. I said, what marriage? And where is the repentance? My son wanted to go camping and I decided to get a cabin for him on Saturday. So, I spent most of the day getting him fishing stuff and getting his camping gear together. My son and I left and I got him set up at the camp and I left. I went home. My wife was down and my son called saying he wanted to come home. I said no. I then asked my wife if she wanted to surprise our son and we went to his camp. It was over an hour and my wife hardly said a word. We had a great time with our son and we left in the evening. As we were driving, I was getting mad. I said to my wife, so you repented? And she said yes. We drove further and I said, you know what one the problems are? She said no. I said you can talk a mile a minute with a guy laying in our car. I said you can't shut up, but you can't talk to me. I said we have over an hour to go to get home and you just sit there. I said I was home for a week and hardly a peep from you and you say you want the marriage to work. I don't know when, but I asked my wife, were you with the OM from 2 years ago on a particular day recently? She said, yes. Then it broke. Tears, snot, a huge confession. Everything came out. It has been the OM from 2 years ago all along. A few other guys, but nothing happened, she said. I did not believe her, and when we got home, she brought her computer to me and there is all was. Nothing was deleted. She did not have time. I asked questions and she answered them right away. I could go on here, but I got most of what I suspected. I wrote the OM's wife an email, contacted his pastor. The following morning, I got an email back from the wife stating never to contact her again and that her husband stopped seeing my wife since 2 years ago. This triggered me big time. I showed my wife. She tried to convince me. I called the pastor, long story, and he wanted to talk to my wife because he did not believe me. There is a lot more that happened on Sunday, but I will fill that in later. Today, I was in a very dark place. The things my wife shared with me took hold of me and I went numb. I was going to leave work and kill the OM. I called the OM's pastor and boss. I threatened to do a picket at their work, church and the OM's home, and that I was going to hire homeless men to do this weekend. I was nasty. I said if the OM does not confess to his wife today and if there is not a meeting set up between the pastor, the OM and me by 7 p.m. tonight, they will regret it. I said I am tired of the lies, the cheating, and I will do something about it. I went deeper into darkness. My wife called me around 2 and she said she had to go to the ER. I insisted on coming home and taking her, and I did. We were in the emergency room for over 3 hours and they forgot my wife was there. It set me off and we left. I offered to take my wife to another emergency room and she said let's go eat. We went to a dinner. As we were talking, I told my wife I am going to X the OM tonight if I do not receive a phone call by 7 p.m. We went home and my wife got her Bible, was hugging me, praying for me, and I was in darkness. I told my wife I did not believe her, that it was the OM she was pleading and saying I can prove it. She said let me listen to the recording, there were things said that will prove that it is him. I said okay. I did not believe her. I said I will be back in 30 seconds. I went out to my truck to get the recording and it was right around 7 p.m. Guess who called? The OM's first words were, I am sorry. Right now, I can't write anymore and will finish tomorrow. I can't explain what came over me. Compassion. I went into a mode of being spirit-led. The OM was hurting, sorry, and broken, and he humbled himself. He was not defensive and he wrote down most of what I told him he needed to do. When I started to speak to him about what he needs to do to save his marriage, he asked me to wait. He wants to get a pen. I forgave him this morning and sent him a text stating so. Some of you think I have lost it. No, if we confess our sins, he is faithful and righteous to forgive us our sins and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness. I have preached this full-time or part-time for years. I have seen people change. My wife lied to me since at least 1999 and cheated on me. I believe she has changed. 1. Nothing she has told me has been contradicted. 2. Everything the OM has told me agrees with what my wife has said, and all the proof that I had in which my wife was denying in the past was confirmed to be true, and he confessed to it without hesitation, as did my wife. 3. She is going to go for treatment at one of the facilities I found. 4. She has shown me everything, computer, phone, etc. She has not to my knowledge hidden a thing. She did not have time to delete her phone or computer. It is all there and she handed it to me willingly. 5. She gave me her secret bank account with over $1,000. I did not ask for it nor knew about it. 6. She told me she will not hide a thing. Were there other men? Yes. No evidence of a hookup with the exception of one. They went out to dinner. I know the man from college. He is now a prominent theologian. He is an arrogant man. Always has been. Did they sleep together? She says no. I am not sure. Based upon the phone texts and emails, there was no romantic dialogue. She told me she was looking for a new husband because she knew I was going to do her. She said she wanted to find a new husband and also keep the OM. There was a fireman. Texts and emails. He ended it by ignoring my wife. Did the guy have a wife or GF who found the texts and ended it? I am not sure. There was no physical meeting, but they were talking about it and planning to meet. I now have almost $10,000 in the bank. I was facing bankruptcy at the beginning of March. I followed the Spirit of Christ during this ordeal, not perfectly and not understanding what was happening. If I have lost it mentally, if I am wrong in this, then why do I feel so blessed at this time, and why am I at peace? Some of you think I have lost it. I understand. I worked with psychiatrists for many years. The reality is that half of them are nuts. When we were interviewing psychiatrists at my last job, I had to set up the interviews with the chief psychiatrist at the hospital. He would come out of the interviews and tell me I will not hire that one, he or she is nuts. Happened more times than I can count. My behavior and actions may seem strange. I get where you would see that. I think I am totally sane, and if you do not understand the spiritual dimension, where I get my grounding, it will never make sense to you. I see genuine change in my wife for the first time ever. I am not moving forward in the marriage out of total blindness. My good friend that I have had for over 20 years is angry at me. He told me to do my wife last year and says I am a fool. He went through a nasty D. I think if he could have found forgiveness, he would not be bitter. And he has been in ministry for years. His relationship with his second wife, I know her, is very cold due to his mistrust, not of her but of what he went through years ago. He focuses on his son. I suspect that our marriage will work out and that her cheating days are over. I may be wrong. Right now, everything is out in the open. Not one thing she has told me has been proven false. I am not interested in her words alone, but her words and her actions. My comment. I had multiple facepalm when I was creating this video for you guys. I have tried many times to shorten the Bible talk from this OP and shorten the crazy turn of events in this story. I thought this was the ending, but it was not. Let me know if you want to hear the final part of this story or not, because it is kind of pain shopping at this point. I think this is the biggest doormat story I have done so far in this channel. And if you disliked it, go watch other ones. There are quite a few strong stories I have posted these couple of weeks. Let me know what you think down below, and I will see you in the next one.